Hello, and welcome back to Still We Persist. Today, I'm your host, Julie, and I'm joined by
Benajza.
And today we're going to talk about, community and how it impacts your perspective on life, which I think is very interesting. So, Benajza, tell me where you're from.
From Fresno, California.
Right. Well,
Are you not going to say where you're from?
I'm from Portland. I thought we were going to take like turns or something.
Okay.
You know.
What else do you want to know?
Okay, tell me about Fresno. What's it like?
Fresno's pretty diverse. It's kind of big. It's the biggest city in the Central Valley for California.
Mm-hmm.
And so, a lot of places from the little towns around will say that they're from Fresno and they're not.
Right.
But Fresno has different parts of it that it's so big that you just see so much.
Uh-huh.
If that makes any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've lived all around Fresno, except for, I think, the west side. But yeah.
Right. What's on the west side?
Bad. They kind of ignore that part of. Actually, I don't know if it's the west side. It might be the east side. I'm bad with directions.
Right.
In that part, but they kind of ignore that part. It was redlined.
Right.
For a while. It's still redlined, and then Fresno got a really big grant. I think billions of dollars or $1 billion to fix that spot. And instead of fixing it, they ignored that spot and gave it to the other side that's already pretty nicely grown. And I think they made a river park. Mm-hmm. Or somewhere they fixed up something else that was already they already pay attention to that. So
I see. Yeah. How many people do you meet here from Fresno?
None.
Right.
I'm the only human.
You're the only one.
Mm-hmm. Except for Carter.
Right. Who isn't even from Fresno.
He's from Fresno.
Oh, he's from.
He's from Fresno, but he moved to Visalia.
I see.
Oh my God, my nose itches.
All right. What's something that was wild when you were growing up and you thought that was just everyone, but then it was just where you were from?
There are a bunch of gangs. I don't think I knew it was wild, but I didn't see how wild it was for that to be happening, or because we had to move once because of it. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So gangs, or I didn't know what red line was until college. And then having to learn about that was kind of wild.
Right. You learned about redlining in college? Mm-hmm. They didn't teach you that?
They didn't teach us a lot of stuff.
Right. I feel that's part of that system, you know? Mm-hmm. They're not going to teach you what they've done. Mm-hmm. Right.
Knowledge is power.
Right, of course. Yeah, that's so interesting. What do you...
This was like an interview.
I know, I was I did not think this through. Let's see, so I'm from Portland, and, just how you said, it's I don't meet that many people from Portland. Mm-hmm. They're always from one of those little small suburbs around Portland. And definitely not the part of Portland I'm from, so it's it's interesting coming here and then being wow, the statistics are statisticing, Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Tell me about the community of Fresno.
Fresno's
Right.
community is pretty nice. There's a bunch of people who just hate on Fresno just to hate on Fresno because it's it's supposed to be a bigger city. It wants to be a bigger city, but it does really poorly sometimes. Our downtown area is trash.
Right.
It used to be pretty, it used to be really nice, but just things have gone on and it gets so ignored that people move out or they just can't sustain it anymore, or people die.
Right. Yeah.
But I think the community is pretty well, other than people being racist and prejudiced.
Right.
Yeah. I like it better than here. The community here is nice. People are nicer, but I think it's more diverse over there, and people know more customs. They have more street smarts than they have here.
Right.
Sometimes I just be why are you outside at this time? This is crazy. You're just walking outside. I had to pick somebody up yesterday when we got off of work because it was dark.
Right.
And she's has headphones in, and there's some random dude walking behind her. So I just hit a U-turn to pick her up and was I'll just take you home because you're insane.
Because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right.
She's I live close, and I was you don't live close. We drove so far.
Right. Do you feel a sense of safety in Corrales though?
I feel safer.
Right.
But I feel safer because I don't know much. I feel they kind of sweep things under the rug a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I kind of I feel safer, but because I'm from the Fresno or a bigger city, not to don't get so comfortable that you leave your doors unlocked or something.
Oh, 100%. I can't believe when I go over to people's houses and they're oh, it's unlocked.
Yeah.
Why is it unlocked? That's ridiculous.
If you go to Clovis, people's houses are unlocked.
Right.
But don't go into those people's houses.
Right. Because why is it unlocked? Like, you could just, like, I think, like, they're just really banking on the fact that no one's going to go up to your door and just turn it and then walk in.
Yeah.
You know, like, what do you do if that even happens, you know? You're just like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Because I get freaked out. I get freaked out when my roommate uses a key to open the door. And I'm sitting in the living room. I'll be like, ooh. But, like,
You're
that's
like, ooh,
it.
Who's coming in here? Yeah.
I'm like, oh, wow. But, yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Like, like when I'm by myself and my roommate's gone, I like have different systems, but other people don't. Like,
Yeah.
you're one of those folks,
Right.
but you just live different.
Right. I feel like, well, I'm low key. I am one of those people who feel a little comfortable in crowds.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not fully like too comfortable. There is like too much though. I'll be like, ooh.
Right. There are points when it's too much, but like I will fully, like in Portland, never will I ever fall asleep outside.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. You know, like I always think about.
Have you fallen asleep outside here?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you told me.
You know how like
Oh my God,
peaceful
no.
and relaxing it is. Like I used to have a blanket. I used to put it on the grass. You know,
I'm
and I
never
just
that much
knock
at
out.
peace.
It's just so peaceful. It's so peaceful here. Now I do hammocks. You know, I've upgraded.
That's terrible.
Right. But it's like,
'Cause you're already wrapped up in a hammock.
right.
All they have to do is cut the sides. Carry you. You
What
made
are they
yourself
gonna
your own
do
little dumpling.
with me?
I don't know.
What are they gonna just
You have to ask those people.
knapsack me? Like, right.
You won't even know. You'll be like, wow, the breeze is crazy.
Your breeze is crazy.
Nah.
Wow. I'm feeling so relaxed. Yeah, it was like weird because like when I first moved here, I'd say that like I was like kind of like still pretty fearful, you know? And it was like, I think I like saw like the fall of Portland basically, right? Like it became like pretty safe for me to be like in 7th grade and going downtown on public transport at night, you know? Like it would still be fine.
I don't think you can do that in Fresno. You can't even go to our malls in Fresno anymore. Like,
Really?
yeah, they have that like scam or the trafficking like question that they have, and I remember being asked that in the middle of like Macy's, and I was like, I've seen this somewhere, and then I remembered like seeing a post about like the lady had said the same exact things that they say that the people say, and I like my eyes got big and I was like, I gotta go, and she's like, I'm sorry, I gotta go, and she's like, wait, let me tell you. I'm like, nah.
With the scams, like where they're trying to scam
They
you.
walk up and they'll be like, do you know Jesus is a woman? And something.
They
It's
do
like,
do
It's some
that.
weird stuff to like catch you off guard and be
Right.
like, what? And then there's like a person on the side, like 2 people on the side.
Oh, and then they like take stuff from you.
No, they just follow you until you like leave, and then
Right.
they get you.
Oh, and then they like rob you.
No, they like they kidnap you.
Oh, they take you.
Yeah, because
They're
Fresno's
robbing you of yourself.
yeah, because Fresno's perfectly in between San Fran and LA,
Right.
Which is like just really big, so it's easier.
Right, like you don't know which one
And
they're
people
going
are
to.
so like, oh, this is a small town. It's like
like,
Fresno's quite big. But
Right.
it's like we have a lot of things there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so interesting. That's
Yeah.
funny, like that's happened to me in Portland. And literally someone was like to my friend, like I'm not religious, right? But like my friend, like, you know, she believed, she was a Christian, and then she like the person sat her down and was like, you know, God is a woman, you know? And she's like, no, he's not, you know? And they legitimately just sat and chatted.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild, you know? I was like, literally, she said that to me, and I just looked at her, and I just kept walking, right? Like, I'm not giving you the time of day. That's wild. Why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I don't know you.
I think because of Fresno, I think I appreciate Fresno because I think I'll always be on my P's and Q's all the time.
Right.
Because I'm like, why are you around me? What are you doing this close to me? I'm always just like, what's going on?
Right.
Kind of thing. I think a lot of people here are kind of just like absent-minded. Sometimes I'll just be like directly behind somebody and they won't even notice. And I'm like, how can you not feel me?
Right,
Like,
right.
this is weird. Or people get directly behind you because they're like me in general, or they just like don't have like a personal space thing. And I'm just like, what in the world?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be able to lift my arm and hit you. Like,
And hit you. Like, why are you so close? I don't know
if
you.
I go like this and spin and I hit you, it's your fault.
Right, right.
Because you're too close.
You're too close. And again, I don't know you. Why
don't
are you
know
all
you.
up in here? Do you think, and I'm going to say this, and I'm like, I don't know, but do you think, like, who are the...
Who are
Is
the
it-
people who are getting too close?
Is it the white people?
It is white people.
Yeah.
It is white.
I'm sorry. I was like, I don't
They
know if
love
I
to be
should
close.
say that.
But other
Right.
people do it. Like a lady did it the other day to me while I was at work because I was helping her. And at some point she just got like very close. But I'm like, at this point, I think she's like, she hung out with me enough. Like not hung out, but we've been in this like
Like, she's been close.
conversation because she like
Right.
made me walk around with her
Right.
to help her. And I was like, okay, like I'll help you, because she reminded me of like my sister back home. So I was like, okay, like I'll help you for that.
Right.
And she's like, at some point she was just getting so close, and I was like, okay, this is weird, but yeah.
Right. Right. She white?
No.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you gotta know. Yeah. It's interesting, I think, because like I've been, like, when I used to do like customer service jobs, it's like, it's nice to like talk to some, you know, like when you're like talking, like you kind of make that bond, you know. So it's like, I get that, like, you know, for her to be a little closer than like if it was just like someone being like, excuse me, where can I find this, you know?
Yeah. Some people will do that, where they're also like batteries, but they're like right here. And I'm just like,
Like right here. You ever, like when someone's talking to you, do you take a step back? Yeah.
I'll like lean back too.
Right. Do you do that to me? Because I think I stand pretty close to people.
At this point, no.
Right.
When we first started being friends, you would do it, and I'd be like, what the hell
Like,
is
why
going
is she
on?
standing so
now
close
I'm
to
just
me?
like, okay.
I don't even know like where I developed that. It's literally been like that forever. I was even like, when I was a kid, I was shy, you know, like, but I'd still stand close.
I wasn't shy back then, but now I'm just like,
Right. Ah.
I'm just like, I'm like my mom, where it's like, we like people, but we like people to a certain extent. Where
Right.
it's like, I need personal space. I need to like, if I hang out with people like a lot for one day, I need to have like a day where it's just like I'm decompressing.
100%. I totally get that too. I think.
Like an ambivert.
Is that what that is?
It's there's introvert and extrovert, and there's one in the middle. It's like ambivert.
Right.
I don't think I'm saying it right. I can spell it in my head, but I don't think I'm saying it right.
Right. I haven't even heard about it today.
It's in the middle.
That's interesting. Yeah. I think for me, like, I can't do big groups like that, you know? Like, I could do, like, a big group for, like, maybe, like, 20 minutes in a day, and I need, like, a break in between, and then I'll come back.
It depends on what we're doing. I can do a big group, like, if we're doing something that requires a big group or is, like, fun for a big group. But there's a certain extent where I'm just, like, at this point, I haven't talked to, like, half of y'all.
Right, exactly, because it's such a big group.
It's, like, it's a big group, and now we're just kind of, like, subgrouped.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Always the subgroups. Yeah. When you were growing up, did you have, like, was your neighborhood close?
No, I moved a lot.
Okay.
I think in Fresno, I think we moved, like, 7 or 8 times before I left. And so we moved a good amount.
Right.
Yeah.
So you never, like, were like, oh, there's Jenny from down the street.
My favorite house, the first house I remember, which was the first house I lived in, one of my brothers had a friend down the street, and then the second house, I wasn't allowed outside by myself. But
Is that the one where you moved?
Nah, the second house is where we moved, and that was my favorite house. And across the street was I had 2 friends. It was like their siblings.
Right.
And that was it. And then in like middle school, the house that we lived in, across the street, like down the way, I had friends as well. Right. They were kind of, I don't know, them and their parents were kind of creepy. Like they wanted me to stay over, and they would like beg, like the parents would beg as well. And my mom's like, that's weird.
That's weird. Why
I
do
don't
they
like
want you
that.
to stay that much?
Yeah.
That is odd.
They had like a little baby sister, and I remember she learned how to say my name before she learned how to say their names, and I was like, I'm over here too much.
Yeah.
Babies love me though.
That's interesting.
But yeah.
Yeah. I had in my neighborhood, like we had like, it was like, when I was growing up, it was like a bunch of kids. For some reason, all the kids were kind of like the same age. Actually, fun fact is like, so my mom came to America, right? And she's like from this like small coastal village in China. And like there's like 1,000 people there. And she like she immigrated, she came to Portland. And then like, you know, a couple years later, she bought a house. And then this girl she went to fucking high school with, bam, down the street. What are the odds of that? Like, that's wild.
Yeah, the same connection.
Right. What do you mean same connection?
Some people know the same people. Like if it's a small town and like one person leaves, they'll be like, hey, I know people.
Right.
Let me help you get over here.
It's just like no, like they weren't friends like that. No, like it was just like
no, not them being friends. Like maybe they had what's that called? A mutual friend.
A mutual friend. But it's just like they were like, she was just like she moved down the street and then like she was like, oh my god, she moved in. And then also, so they were in the same high school, right? She also had a daughter my age, and like we lived on the same street, so we were low key besties.
Cute.
You know, right.
That's good for your mom and the other lady.
Right. Yeah. It was
have
nice.
Somebody else to be like.
Right. No, they'd gossip. They gossip. Yeah. It would be kind of funny because like my mom would be like, oh, I'm going over to. Okay, her name's in Chinese. I don't know how to say that right, but she's going over to her house. She's like, you want to come? And I was like, yeah, you know. And I'd fuck around with Amy, and then, you know, they'd be talking goss. Yeah. But the neighborhood I lived in was kind of sick because it was like, it was like everybody was pretty different. It was like pretty diverse, you know, and it was like, it felt like stupid kids doing stupid things. Like one time, you know those tall ass pine trees?
Mm-hmm.
This Russian kid, I don't know what got into him. His girlfriend broke up with him.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I'm gonna climb this tree. I'm gonna stay here until you get back together with me. And he stayed there all day.
Kid had a heart.
That girl.
How old was he?
He was like 13.
Kid had heart.
Kid had a heart.
Because he had a little bit of a brain by then.
Right. And then you know what that girl did? She's like, Julianne, you're being stupid. Get down. And then he's like, no. And then he was like, and he just stayed there. Like, she just went home, too. And he was just like, he was like,
it was me. I would have been home. I would have been like, if you don't get down.
Right. Like, that's ridiculous.
And then if you don't get down, I'd be like, all right, you got that. Like, I'm going home.
Right, right. That's ridiculous.
You know what? I'm thinking, you're talking about that right now. I'm like, my mom's a woman's woman, but like, she does not have many, like, she doesn't have friends for real.
My mom doesn't have friends for real, too. Like, she's lost a lot of friends.
Yeah. She's kind of chill. I'm just like, I get worried that I'm going to be exactly the same because I'm like, I want to have friends. But like,
I want to have friends. Right.
I'm like, is it hard? Is it different? Is it,
right.
Was it like, I've heard about different friends that she's like dropped for proper reasons. But
right. Like, it's just like life. It's also like, I'm also wondering like,
so you just get separated and you're just like,
yeah, like what is it?
Lives and things end.
Right. Like I also think in like our society, I feel like you kind of get like booked up, you know, like you're working basically like all day. Mm-hmm. And if you have a family, those motherfuckers take up time, you know what I mean? Like when you have time like really for yourself, like I think like for a lot of parents especially, right? It's like they don't even have time for themselves, let alone like time for themselves and then they go hang out with a friend. Mm-hmm. You know, like I think.
And my mom was in that house by herself a lot of times. Like
right.
I'd have to be there, but like here and there. Right. And you don't help. That is another just child that she had to take care of.
Right.
This is a big grown man that's a child.
A big grown man.
And he just depends, like he's just like, you didn't make any food?
Right.
I'm going to burn the house down.
Right.
On accident trying to make something. He knew how to make lasagna.
Right. That's
when I was little,
just
it smacked.
Lasagna? Right.
He can barbecue as well.
Oh, right.
But when I was little, it smacked. And now it's like,
no,
and tuna, he would make like the tuna salad thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it has like tuna and mayo and stuff.
Right.
And me and my mom all hate it.
Right.
It smells so bad.
Because it's tuna.
And it's eggs. He put like deviled eggs in it.
That's wild.
He make a big batch and it's just for him.
Right. He's just sitting there with a spoon.
Mm-mm. Oh. He just put it on something. I forget what it is.
How did he put it in like a sandwich or something?
He hasn't done that in a long time.
Right. Maybe he doesn't like it.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
I'm gonna remind him.
I do agree with that though. I think like, you know, like my sister and I always talk about this like subject about like men and how like they're differently raised, especially like in for me like an Asian family, like men are like raised like as kings, right? And then like
same
the girls, right? They're like you're supposed to take care of the men, but then like I think what happens now is now you have a bunch of these men who are like entitled and like think that they.
Some of these men think they're like Jesus. They're like I'm
Jesus.
A god.
Like literally like kiss the ground I walk on right now, like right, and it's like I don't know, babes, like it's not.
I can't do it.
I can't do that. Like I don't know who you think I am.
Yeah, I think the Black community has this thing where I've seen it so many times where it's like they raise their daughters but they love their sons.
Right.
Especially like Black women, they'll like love the shit out of their sons.
Yeah.
They're like, your shit smells like flowers, and I'm just like, no. But my mom raised them. She still loves them to death. Like I'm not gonna say that she doesn't love them, but like she raised them to be like self-sufficient without anyone. Like she did it on purpose. So if she like if she was to leave,
right,
they would be fine.
Right.
Or like them not to have to depend on anyone.
Yeah.
But like my grandpa, he almost burnt the house down trying to make a hot link.
Yeah.
So my grandma went home for like a week.
And that's wild.
And if he just had to boil it, he forgot about the water. I'm like, the house almost burned. The house that you guys bought together almost burned to the ground because of this.
Of a hot link.
Right. And he sent photos. Like I think my sister took photos of it, and it makes me laugh. I'm like, damn, like you were an educator. Like y'all are both educators, and you still don't know how to do this thing. Like it's simple.
Right. Yeah. Like they'd be like smart people.
Yeah.
You know. Like I think I'm always thinking like back to my dad. Like before, like now he's a little bit more like he knows how to like live as like a person, but back then like he used to like just rely on my grandma. You know, he lived back in China, and like I remember going to his apartment and like opening the fridge, nothing in there but like some juice.
If my mom were to leave for a month, the house would look crazy. And he would have no clean clothes.
Right.
Even though he knows how to clean his clothes.
Right.
He would have no clean clothes.
But he wouldn't do it.
And he would like there'd be stuff everywhere, and he would not have any food in that fridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
other than like sodas.
Right. Like my dad has genuinely not grocery shopped in like 20 years.
He will go grocery shopping if like we send him, or like
Right.
he knows that he's like about to spend a bunch of money and he needs a bunch of stuff. So like he's like, all right.
And he'll go do it. Yeah.
But he makes one of us go.
Right.
But yeah.
It's just wild. Yeah. And you know, it's interesting because especially now, like, you know, like I don't like men, right? But then it's like, now I like look at it and I compare it, like the relationships I had with men versus the relationship I've had with women. And I'm like, it's just wild, like how much I like used to put up with, just because I'm like, yeah, like this is just like what I've seen my whole life. It's just like women taking care of men. And it's just like, God.
See, I've seen it and I've just been like, it annoys the hell out of me.
Annoys the hell out of me.
Also, my dad he's on a different level of like, if he needs, like, say he wants to barbecue,
right?
He'll be like, the kitchen needs to be cleaned beforehand. Like
you
he's like,
clean it, right?
He'll walk into the kitchen and be like, the kitchen's a mess. And I'm like,
you're
about to spray seasoning every single crevice of this kitchen,
100%.
and you want me to clean it beforehand? Or he'll be like, we'll come back from like a trip from Cleveland or something, and he'll be like, oh, like the house is dirty. You dirtied it. Clean it. You know how to clean up.
Right, exactly.
And so, like, yeah. So
like you're a grown-ass man.
I'm like, the dishwasher works. Everything in this house works for real. The vacuum, everything. You don't know. I'm like, he hasn't even looked at that vacuum.
No.
He doesn't even know if we have one.
Right. Like he's never picked it up. I've never seen my dad. Oh my God, this man drives me insane. He like throws temper tantrums like a little baby, right? And then like, it'll literally be like, he'll throw temper tantrums and he won't do anything, right? And then it'll literally be like, my mom like comes home from working all day. She'll like cook, she'll clean up, and then she'll clean up the house, like she'll start mopping and shit. And then he'll just be sitting there, just doing nothing. And then he'll be like, you missed the spot. And I'm like, that is so ridiculous. If a man said that to me, like, I'm throwing hands.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm like, you're sitting here being a bum all day long and you expect, you have the audacity to tell me you missed the spot.
See, my mom, she's not cleaning. Like if she goes to work that day, she's not cleaning for this. Unless she messes it up or she's like, I just feel like cleaning it. It's like dirty and I have time and I'm awake.
Right.
But like if she's sleepy, she's not cleaning it.
Valid.
And if my dad said anything, like my mom is very like, she will cuss him out, like very.
Right.
And my mom's like, I think he just likes to be cussed out sometimes, because sometimes he just does stuff. She's like, you know that's gonna make me mad, and you're doing it anyway. Like, so she will cuss him out.
Right.
He gets a little scared.
He's a little scared.
Oh, she's only 5'7", but like
that little
5'7" to 6'2".
Right.
I'm like, she's 150 pounds, and he's like 3-something.
Right.
But she's still like, he was like, nah, she scares me a little bit.
Right. Exactly.
So
yeah.
I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah.
My mom does have that thing where it's like, if you're at the house all day, like no matter who you are, if you don't clean something, she's mad. Like I still feel bad to this day if I like stay at my apartment and I don't clean something. And I'm just like,
to like do something,
anything today, like that's terrible.
Right. Did you have trouble relaxing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why like on Sunday I was like, that's why I still went to work even though I felt terrible, because I was like, I need to do something. I've just been laying in the bed like not feeling well, so it's like, I'll go to work.
Growing up, did you have like a lot of times when you were like able to relax?
No.
Right. So now here you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little ball of stress.
A little ball of stress constantly.
Ball of stress.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
My house be clean though.
Right. No, I bet.
Things are great, but
I know.
If it's just me there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also have to. That's another thing with living with people. I have to be like, we weren't raised the same. Like people don't have that like. Because my brothers do the same thing where if they're at home all day, they clean something. Like they'll clean up everything. And so like, I have to be like, yo, like they didn't get raised. They didn't get the same like lectures that we got about like cleaning. So I'm like, because sometimes I'll be like, dang, I came home. It's the same but worse.
Right.
I'm like, you didn't do anything all day. Like you had all these things to do.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just like, what the heck? But I have to give people grace. I'm like, we weren't raised the same. Like.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Like I think. Like me living with roommates, and like when I first moved in, I like lived with like 5 other people, you know? It was driving me insane. I was literally like, I think that all the time. I'd be like, you sat here all day and you watch television and the sink is full.
Yeah.
Like you could have, I know you contributed.
Sink is full.
You could have put that in the dishwasher.
Fridge is dirty. Trash is still there.
Trash is still there. I'd be like angrily cleaning. I'd be giving them stares. I was like, I hope you feel my vibes right now.
If the trash smells too. If you leave smelly trash in the trash and you've been there all day, I'm slamming the door when I leave.
Right. Like, I'm pissed.
And then it's like, oh, you took the trash out? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting the plainness, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
We're not even speaking for the night. Like, I'm just going in my room. Like, I'm like...
Exactly. Like, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe... But then, again, like, I get it. Like, you know, they weren't raised the same. Yeah. Everybody has, like, a different standard of what they are able to live with. Right. Right.
So I think that's also, like, I think a while ago you were like, you haven't said much about your living situation. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just starting to realize that, like, it's been like a year.
Right.
It's been a good time.
Right. You just kind of chill. Yeah. Because you've had some pretty bad experiences.
I've had some experiences.
You've had some experiences.
I should do that as a topic one day because I have things to say.
Some roomy ones? I know. We got to wait until, like, spring term. I'll be spilling.
The only thing I will say is that I still don't know what that girl made for it to look like. When we walked in, we thought it was, like, a burnt dish that she had to throw away or, like, air out. And she was like, it tasted so good, I had to put it away for myself because I just had to have it on my own.
Huh.
But the pan was dirty. Like, the pan was burnt and dirty. And, like, my roommate now and our old coworker were there because we were going to go hang out. And we were just, I could never have said, like, oh, that must have been a good dish. Like, I was just like, something went wrong.
Right, because you're seeing, like, you when you see it like burnt on there, you're like, that's not a crust, that's just burnt.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a great way to come to Oregon, though. That was a good, like, intro to be like, here's what you're gonna have to deal with.
Right.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think. Let's see. My intro to Corvallis was, I had, like, the perfect freshman year roommate. You know, she was nice. She was clean. You know, she gave me my space. You know, we chatted. We were buddies. Well, but then, you know, COVID happened and we all, like, moved out. But I don't know. It was interesting. I'm sad you never lived in the dorms. Like, that is truly an experience. I've, like, found.
I would have lived in a dorm at a Christian college.
Right. That would be wild.
That would be wild. Because it was already wild going there. So I was like,
I'm not lying to you. Yeah.
I always forget I did that year and a half.
Right. Of course. You know, I forget that I, like, I've, like, been here for a minute too.
Yeah.
It was, like, one of the worst things I think I found. Oh my God, that stays in my memory. It's literally, fourth floor Wilson, all right? In one of the bathrooms, there's literally a bloody tampon on the floor. You know what's wrapped around it? Hair. Like, it was literally, like, it was like it could, like, someone could have woven that shit in there. And I was like, well, this is ridiculous. But all the showers were full and it was in the corner. So I was like, I'm just gonna take a shower. So I took my shower. What am I supposed to do? Get out of there? Like, yeah,
I would have been dirty.
Right. And then one time.
That's nasty.
Right. One time I was absolutely wasted. I was wasted coming back to the door.
What possesses you to wrap it in? I've never been like hair.
I don't know. Because then I'm like, that means someone, like, it legitimately, it's like, you know, like when people,
I was in the shower too, so there's nothing else. Maybe that's why.
That's just disgusting. Like, it only makes it worse. Like, that means you pulled that fucking bloody tampon out of you and then you wrapped it around with the hair that, like, I don't care if it's from your own head.
We have to get past this because
we gotta go. Okay. But another time I was happening was, like, you know, like, you're freshman, right? Like, I came back wasted and
Legally?
What?
Legally?
Legally, I was 21, and I remember I was, like, brushing my teeth, and then, like, the RA comes in and she's like, "You're just standing in that?" And I was like, "Standing in what?" And it was, like, puke all over the floor because somebody had thrown up, and I was just like, because I was wasted, and I was sleepy, I just didn't realize that it was, like, so bad. God, those dorms are terrible. It's terrible. It's hard.
That would be my final straw.
Right, like, it'd get you. Right. I mean, it got me. You know, I washed my
Even
Crocs.
if it was my throat, I still would be like, I'm breaking down.
Right, like, I just wanted to go to sleep. You know, I did go to sleep after that. Like, you know,
a drunk crier.
You get a little desensitized to that type of stuff. It's a little gross. Right.
Also, sharing a bathroom, I would hate.
Right.
And you're sharing a whole bathroom with, like, a bunch of people.
I don't mind sharing a bathroom with people if they're not, like, terrible, you know? Like, I don't want to see those special stains. Right.
Yeah, I've shared a bathroom with, like, my elder brother and his kids, and I hated that.
Did you share a bathroom growing up?
Yeah.
Right. How'd you like that?
Well, I was little, so I didn't have to clean it.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, once you get older, you have to clean it. Because there was, like, my brothers are so much older than me that a stint of time that I didn't have to share a bathroom with anyone.
Yeah.
Because that extra bathroom was just mine.
Yeah.
And then, like, if they move back, you have to share a bathroom. Just like.
No, I get that. That's the same for my sister. Like, eventually, like, by the time that I actually needed a bathroom, you know, like, for you to, like, do stuff, she was gone.
Oh, yeah. They were gone.
Yeah, she was.
Youngest one was gone when I was, like, 10.
I'm in luxury. Right.
I remember crying and looking. Oh my God, that's so funny. I don't think he knows that either. I was so sad when my youngest brother left. Like when I was 10, I stared out the window when he left.
Right.
I stared out the window.
You put your hand up the window.
I didn't do that. I did the like lip quiver where my lip went big, and
right.
I just cried for a bit, and then I went into his room and just looked at his like. There's like an old game station. Mm-hmm. It's like it's called a cube, and I just looked at it because you had to like blow the things if you wanted to play it.
Right.
I just looked at that. I cried some more, and then I asked my mom. I was like, "Can I have his room?"
Right. Of course.
Bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of did the same thing too. My sister. I remember she was leaving for college, and I was like, Cindy, I know you gotta go, but please don't leave me with these people. And I was like quivering, I was holding her hand, and she was like, Julie, this is ridiculous. And then she like pulls her hand, and then so then I was like home alone, and then I go up to her room, and I just lay in her bed. I just cried because I was like, she's good.
That younger sibling, like detachment. I'm just like, damn.
Right. Like,
and now they look at me and they be like, you don't love us the same. I'm like, you abandoned me.
Right, you left
me with these folks.
Right.
I had to do everything. I had to carry all the groceries. I'm strong now because of this.
Right, exactly. I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear anything.
Right.
But yeah. We should wrap this up.
Yeah, we should. So, that was on me. I hope you enjoyed. This is a little different from what we normally do. I feel like normally hopefully it was fun to listen to. I don't know.
Thank you for watching the summer edition. Thank you to OMN for doing all of this. And the podcast is going on to more streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music. And it's because of them, because I could not have done that.
Right. So if you really like our voices like that, you could just be listening to it like that.
Or you just want to listen to teenage 20-year-olds.
Talk about absolutely, I don't know.
Anything.
Anything at this point. Like, what is this one even about? Anyways, we'll see ya.
Hi, Jada's parents. Bye.
Oh, right. Yeah, because they watch it. Goodbye.